Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. Come hang out with us. Just search for @TomandDanLive. There's tons of video content on there and custom 4K replays of every single day in the studio that you can go and watch at your leisure. Pretty proud of the channel. It looks really, really nice, and we'd love for you to check it out.
Next Saturday, July 12th, we are doing a family skate-a-thon courtesy of Mo DeWitt.
Yes.
And Mo DeWitt is renting out Cimarron Skateway from 5 to 7 p.m. You need to register at justcallmo.com/skate. And once you register, you could fill out the waiver that everybody, you don't need a bunch of lines of people filling out the waiver day of. We only have
it online.
2 hours. Yeah, do it online. And then that way you just come right inside. And
it's
then,
like, remember in Highlights magazine, Goofus and Gallant. Gallant would go to the Cimarron Skateway website and fill out his form online so he would get in with his family quickly. Goofus would wait till the day of, and he'd be trying to do it, and he'd be yelling at his family, right?
This is officially the closest event that's ever been to my house.
Are you guys going to walk? I think you should walk.
Oh, yeah. We're
I think you should
Technically
walk.
in your backyard, right?
Yeah.
I ran by it this morning. It would be funny, though, if we drove, just because they were so cool.
No, you know what you should do? You should helicopter.
Okay, all right. Rent a helicopter.
Yeah. Rent a helicopter to come and land in the cul-de-sac, pick you up, and then fly you over.
Over your house, over the backyard.
Yeah. I think that'd be incredible.
I like it.
All right. Do you want the new Weird Job song?
Let's
you
do
ready
it.
For? All right,
Let's
this
do it.
one's weird. This is a weird one, but I think
I
you
can handle it.
Here we
Let's
go.
go.
Here we go. Weird Job. Oh, no, wrong one. Okay, it's this one. Sorry. Sorry. That's a different
Here
one.
we go.
It's this one. I hit the wrong button.
Job, big fat slob, work all day, go home and sob. Hate my wife, hate my life, cut my head off with a knife. Sweet relief, easy sell, trapped inside my weird job hell. Please somebody kill me. Please somebody kill me. Please somebody kill me. Somebody kill me. Please somebody kill me. Somebody kill me. Please somebody kill me. Somebody kill me. Please somebody kill
All right.
Pretty good.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty
It's
good.
one of my most avant-garde designs.
That was
I've
pretty
ever
good.
It's one of my most avant-garde designs I think
like
I've
it.
ever done.
How to get so far away?
It is. That one goes out to. That one right there goes out to all of it. That goes out to the troops.
I feel bad because it doesn't really pertain
That's
to
for the
my
troops.
life in any way, shape, or form.
That one
I
was-
love what I
That
do.
one was for the troops. Okay,
That's our decision, Corey. I'll decide if
you don't get
you
to
like your
decide.
job or not.
My gig is very different from that. I actually like my job a lot.
Well-
I get big breaks in between my gigs, so I don't ever get that Monday through Friday drain where like by Friday I'm ready to, jump
right.
off the bridge. So
Well, we've got Corey in studio with us.
Thanks for
and
being here. Hold on, I'm gonna give you a blast.
Corey's been a listener for a while. How long you been listening, Corey?
well, I've been friends with Daniel for, I don't know,
How long?
2000, 2002
Yeah.
era, right when you came on, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
I actually went to a party at your house over in the UCF area with Natalie and Erica.
Oh, Natalie, don't do it. I told you not to talk about
sorry,
Natalie and
sorry,
Erica.
sorry,
Oh,
sorry,
my
wrong
God,
name.
that's Frog Pajama.
Yeah,
Frog Pajama.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, no.
That far ago. Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta bleep that out.
Where?
You tread lightly.
Somewhere University Club?
Yeah.
Don't ask
University
questions.
Club.
Don't stop asking
That was
questions.
before
There
the
was-
radio.
Crystal's gonna kick our goddamn door down and kill us all.
There was also
Never talk about Natalie.
Was that my neighbors?
I'm not sure. There was something about a dirt bike too in the
Yes,
in the
we were
in the
giving
kitchen or
Nasty
something.
Natalie some dirt bike rides.
I don't know.
We were giving Nasty Natalie dirt bike.
I had my dirt bike in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I go
Where's
far.
the other roommate? It was me, Pudge, and the Grizz, and then another roommate that wore a trench coat. And
It's like grandma's boy.
And he loved the dirt bike in the living room.
And I actually,
sure he did.
I
I'm
was
sure he- I'm
Daniel's date actually for Hamburger Mary's opening downtown Orlando.
I remember when he went to that.
Yeah. I was with him on that night.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how far back we go.
Yeah.
So
Long,
hold
long
on.
way.
Back to you. How were you were in some random
Party, bro.
party at University
I got
Club?
brought to a party.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
with
we were
people
giving
that
Nasty
you knew.
Natalie dirt bike rides.
How'd you remember it was me? Because that was way before
You
the
had
radio.
your shirt off. You were revving the dirt bike in your kitchen. You were going crazy.
No, I got reintroduced to you through the radio. Somehow I knew you at that time period as well. But yeah, it was through Natalie and Erica, and that's how I got involved with all of you guys, particularly. And that was like 25 years ago, man.
God.
Yeah, 25
Wild.
years ago.
It's absolutely wild.
And here we are today.
There used
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
a pizza place in Deltona too called it was called Brooklyn Pizza, and the pizzas were do you remember that?
Sure.
The pizzas were like ginormous.
Yeah.
They were like so big they wouldn't fit in your door.
Yeah.
And I remember we used to have some big parties at your place.
Yeah,
It was fun.
I mean, the Deltona was
Way later,
God,
way later.
8 years after.
8 years after that.
Yeah. Or anyway, so we've known you a long time.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
So let's talk about your job.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So I am an infrared digital audio distribution technician. So I'm an audio engineer.
All
A
right.
fancy audio engineer. So
You're a
what we-
sound guy.
I'm a sound Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly
Made
what
it
I
sound
am.
too fancy.
But it
When
is
do
fancy.
we just start calling podcasters garbage men? Because it's all audio garbage. Why
Right.
don't we just say, when
Right.
people ask me, what do you do? I'm like, I am a garbage man.
Right.
I create audio garbage all day
We're
long.
polluting the digital world.
We are.
Right.
That's a great billboard. Polluting the digital world, Tom and Dan.
Yeah, we're saving
Garbage
too
men.
much garbage. No
Yeah.
one's going back and listening to it or watching it.
We're Orlando's favorite garbage men.
But every show on YouTube is too much.
So the equipment is actually for like security purposes. So when you're in an area where you don't want the information to be leaked out with radio frequency, it's very easy to pick up that signal outside of those four walls, right? But with infrared technology, the photon dies as soon as it hits the wall. No information passes through the wall. It can't be recorded outside of the space unless you're inside of it. And then even if you're inside the room, you have to have specialized equipment just to capture the audio. So like government meetings, anything high level security for like corporations, i.e. Google, Amazon, those types of things, I get sent in. We set up the equipment. That way we can disseminate the audio throughout the room, but it doesn't get captured outside of the room. So only people with security
Whoa.
clearance on the inside can hear what's being said. Nothing gets outside of the room.
And nothing can be recorded.
Negative. Nothing.
Oh, wow, I didn't even know that
Yeah.
was a thing.
Me
Like,
neither.
Yeah.
so
Lots of people don't know it's a thing. Yeah.
So you essentially.
I didn't even understand what you said.
Okay, so essentially, like they're having this super classified meeting.
Correct.
whether it's-
I mean, I would imagine that a lot of those are going on right now
All the time.
because,
Yeah.
I mean, the world is a spicy place.
It is a spicy place.
And then they're like, we cannot have anything from this meeting get out, and especially be recorded.
Sure.
Especially like think about because everything after that, yeah, it's being recorded in someone's memory, but that's hearsay.
So this is
Correct.
So it's like if you want to say something to your company
Right.
that you don't want any possibility of any getting
we
out.
killed the children, right? Like something like
Exactly.
that. If you
Yeah.
want to say we
Or
killed
the
the
president.
children,
Right,
like if
right.
I would have run into we killed them all, and I run in there and I got to tell everybody,
Right,
oh my
right.
God, we killed them, and then you've already said this is a sophisticated version of Tony Soprano turning on classic rock in his basement. Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Very, very
All right,
complicated.
all
Very
right.
complicated.
Now I get it,
Right,
and all
right,
the dum dums do too.
Right, right.
So okay, let's go back to the equipment.
Sure.
This is badass.
Yeah, it is cool.
I didn't know equipment or this existed where like we're talking. So say, okay, if I am in this meeting and I turn on the recorder on my phone, the
Sure.
audio recorder, And this equipment disables that or makes it so it cannot hear the
Right.
actual
So
audio?
if you were recording with your cell phone in the room,
Yeah.
right, like just turn on the voice recorder, sure, you could capture any ambient sound that's taking place around you, right? But you're not going to pick up what's on the microphone. You're not going to pick up what's being sent through the system or any additional audio. All of that gets channeled through our system, and we actually send it out to a receiver that the audience has to wear on their lanyard.
What?
With a headphone. So I'll explain to you the way the technology works.
Okay, all
it's
right.
actually really it's actually simple once I break it down. So the front of your television has a infrared receiver, okay, and your remote control at home is an infrared transmitter. The remote control sends a light signature out of the tip of the remote control, and the receiver on your TV picks up that light signature and then goes through your menus, change the channel up, change the channel down. It recognizes that signature as something to do. Well, we do the same thing. We take the audio signature from a source, we feed it through the system, it turns into that photon, it travels out over the audience, it hits the receiver. Instead of changing the channel up or changing the channel down, going through your menus, that signal then just becomes a digital audio source that we pipe in through the headphones. And that's how the system works, rudimentarily. You know, like
Okay,
that's the basics of how it works.
Yeah.
So if you don't have specialized equipment that can read that light signature, there's no way for you to capture it. And you would have to have that equipment inside the room because that signal is not getting outside the room. It's also a digital audio signal too, so it sounds like CD quality, which is the next thing that goes into why this is a service that's sought after. With radio frequency, you're going to deal with interference.
Sure.
You're going to hear cracks, pops, all that stuff. This is digital. It sounds like a CD. It's perfect audio.
Huh.
Is it
crazy?
And so and wow, that's kind of blowing my mind.
yeah,
a little bit.
it's
That's
So
really
wild.
what's like who is using this and
Sure.
for what purposes?
Absolutely.
Like tell me about that.
Sure. So, like I mentioned, it's all about security, right? And secret stuff. So, like, Secret Service uses it all the time. I'm at the United Nations for UN Week in September. So, like, anytime that countries are having secret meetings or, like, let's say France wants to talk to Spain about agricultural things, the leaders will actually have meetings in these different hotels around New York City, and we have to be there with translators and this equipment so that we can pipe the audio into a booth where the translators are sitting. They can do their interpretation. It goes back through the system. I broadcast it to the participants so they can hear in their native languages.
Wow.
That's dope as hell.
That's the other reason
Yeah,
that the technology
that's
exists.
wild, man.
So now, okay, but they're using you, a
Correct.
third-party company.
Yeah.
So I imagine that you have to go through some crazy security clearance because you could have the ability to record all these secret meetings, technically, like without their knowledge. So I'm sure.
Hey, kid, you want to know what France and Spain are doing
Yeah.
in agriculture?
Yeah.
I got the
I mean,
goods.
there's some top secret
I
stuff.
got the
That's just
agriculture.
it. I mean, it is top secret, but it's like, I mean, I haven't heard anything about aliens or anything
Right,
about
right.
war. That's like different layers of
What about
security. This is
something
like,
what about something
fundings and things of that nature.
would have a impact on stocks?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or what about
because
when our last pope used the F word for gay in a secret meeting?
Because
Yeah.
you're in a meeting and
Sure.
then you're exposed to Zuckerberg screaming at Musk about something that you realize you're like, oh, Facebook is going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like you got that information that
Way
could be
ahead of-
worth
yeah.
millions.
It could.
So I'm sure like they don't want you to know that.
No. But then again, I'm also not the like mental, foreseer of like, hey, I should take advantage of this information, or like I heard this, I should do that.
Well,
like,
that's where I come in. Cory.
Yeah. Like
Because if you tell me anything,
yeah.
like if you're like, hey, I'm in this crazy
Sure.
meeting, and Apple's CEO is sweating crazy,
Right.
and then you just text me what happened, or even the audio. I'll take the audio, full script actually, and then and then one day there'll be a suitcase in your backyard that for your time.
I think I'm more like Daniel in that regard. Like when I'm there on site, like I'm hyper focused on the equipment working properly, and there's a lot of like little things that can go wrong.
Sure.
And if they do go wrong, you have to be on top of it. So you know where all your connection points are. You know what the timings of your radiators are. If something drops, you can put something back in. There's like so much that's happening in real time that if you take your eye off of it and something fails, you're not going to be able to like fix the situation.
How many?
So like I'm on it the entire time. Like I'm barely even hearing what's being transmitted out to the audience. Like I'm so hyper focused on my
The equipment
records.
works.
Yeah. Because it's like a one-man band a lot of the time. I show up, I set up everything by myself.
Wow.
I test everything by myself. I make sure the interpreters are good to go. Make sure all the equipment's running. All the participants can hear correctly. And at the end, I got to strike everything on my own. So like the actual what's happening in the room matters very little to me. My concern is that the participants can hear, that the record sounds great, like all of those like weird technical things that no one ever thinks about. That's the only thing that I can think about.
How many redundancy sort of situations do you have?
A lot.
Yeah.
Everything has a backup. Everything's pre-programmed and ready to rock and roll. So if something fails, I can open a case and flip it out. Like
Nice.
It's on. Like you gotta be. You gotta be, or you're screwed.
How many companies like this exist?
Sure.
Is it? I mean, I'm guessing a lot. If the huge companies and governments are
Sure.
using this technology for the meetings, is this standard for most part?
No, it's not standard. I wouldn't say that you were going to see this in a lot of meetings. Like when I say high-end meetings, I'm talking like executive stuff for Google, executive stuff for Amazon.
So you're like top 10%.
Yes,
Or
yes.
maybe even
this is rarely
higher.
This is rarely used. And then the other area that this gets used quite a bit, and we're seeing more growth in this space, is silent conferencing, where these companies are doing these humongous conferences in one space, but they have 6 stages set up. So when you're walking through the actual convention floor, you don't hear the stages because it's all done through our headset system, and you can only hear what's being said at the stage if you're standing in front of it.
They've been talking about this too
So like
for
the
bigger
silent disco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In dance competitions, like
Exactly.
there were 3 stages where Maisie was at. For instance, like I would imagine when the technology gets cheaper and easier,
Sure.
this is what will happen, because like they have to put them in so far away from each other because the speakers are just so loud and they're just massive, and this puts a much smaller footprint for
Absolutely.
a lot of people. That's pretty clever.
So I understand the fact that you're not paying attention, you're focusing on the equipment,
Right.
but not to keep going back to it, but you're being exposed to sensitive, giant corporate information.
Sure.
That I'm surprised
Well,
that
it's
the
sensitive if you need it.
If you need it, right.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying sensitive to maybe predicting what's going to happen. Like that's why people go to jail for insider trading,
Sure.
because if you're on the inside and you hear like, "Hey, we're going to about to report a bad quarter and our stock is going to drop,"
Sure.
like
Right.
if you know that before, that's why it's illegal. Like, and then the random sound guy that is running the equipment.
Well,
is
you're
like,
under contract, I'm assuming,
Absolutely,
and then
yeah,
if
yeah,
something happens, they're going to know who did
Yeah.
it. I mean,
You sign non-disclosure stuff all the time.
Yeah. But as you tell you like some guy that's completely untraceable from where you are.
the completely untraceable
Man,
No,
defending the monster is like a thing in this
Yeah,
dude's
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's about
Like,
it.
now we're linked, so we're screwed, Corey. See it? Because now
He's literally obsessed with cheating.
Yeah. He really is.
Who is it? That's how you get rich. President.
He's
I know.
obsessed
Yeah,
with
yeah,
cheating.
Did you see?
Yeah.
Don't you see?
Oh, we see it.
That's how they get.
It's not going to happen for us.
biggest.
It's
The
not-
rules only
we're not
exist.
those
This is
guys.
how
Don't
it can
wanna do
happen.
It's not going to happen for us.
Corey just tells me,
Yeah, I
and
know.
then
The secrets.
all
Yeah.
you need, and I.
Where'd you make your money? On France and Spain's agriculture. We were betting on trees.
Yeah, no, but you
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
if the president of France is like, man, we got this mite that ruined our forest, that,
mate is killing all our trees.
like this stock, like this agriculture business is gonna be tank. Like you know that information, you could turn it into millions.
I mean, I
Like,
guess. Where do you bet on that?
I don't know.
And then
Yeah.
you go to the stock market, you just get some investors, and you start investing heavy into this inside
Too
information.
much work.
You want to
Yeah.
get rich?
I'm one of those guys. It'd be
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
Just get a regular job.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Back to your job. So now, Where is this taking place? Like, do you have
Sure.
to go to some weird locations, or is it usually just conference halls and
conference
hotels? And
center.
stuff?
Yeah, it's typically conference centers, hotels, things of that nature. Every once in a while, you get to go to somewhere cool like the UN building, or you get put up in like swanky hotels and stuff, like in Vegas. That's always a fun run.
Yeah, the UN, they ain't gonna do no Best Western.
No,
you know?
no, they're not. Actually, I get put up in the Millennia One Plaza,
Wow.
which is they got like, I don't know if you've ever seen that hotel or whatever. It's right across the street from the UN. There's like 5-star hotels, and then there's this thing. Like, this has like the automatic Japanese toilets, like everything.
Heated
It's
marble.
it's literally kept together for world leaders. Like, literally,
So
that's what it's there for.
The most important people
On the planet stay in this hotel.
Yeah.
And
But
during
When-
UN
when
week, they're
I
all in the
become
same building.
president, I'm leveling at Best Western. Oh, you dumb world leaders.
Yeah.
You sons of bitches.
Yeah.
So, how many people on a team have to do this, and how long does it take to set up the equipment, and like, what kind of equipment
Great.
are we talking?
Well,
Just
I was going to
microphone?
throw, and people love this one.
Sure.
Not only what kind of equipment, to piggyback his question, like if you had to round about how much money are we talking that you're,
For the
equipment
rig?
you're working with. Yeah,
Well, it's not cheap.
I bet.
The equipment is very expensive, and I'm responsible for it when I'm on site, which is another layer of
Yeah.
anxiety that you got to deal with. For instance, the little receivers that go around the lanyards that the participants wear, each one of those costs $350.
Jesus.
We could have thousands on site, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The head units are thousands and thousands of dollars. Each emitter panel, and sometimes we have to have 50, 60 on site. Those are thousands and thousands of dollars.
So hundreds of
each.
thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't really give you an exact figure,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
somewhere between hundreds of thousands and $1 million.
Yeah,
Somewhere
you're-
in that ballpark for every show.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
And like, what's your schedule like?
Sure.
Do you never know like when you'll have to? Oh, I got to fly to New York because
Right.
this conference is happening. Like, or is kind of your next 6 months planned out?
Right. So that's the difficult thing about being an audio technician, especially a traveling technician, right? Is that we don't really have a build out of what our year looks like in any way, shape, or form. Now, I've got my usuals. I know that, in July, I got this coming up. September, I got this coming up, because it's like annual things that I do. But for the most part, like, conventions typically are only planned out a year in advance. And by the time they realize that they want this technology on site, it's usually like a month or two beforehand. And sometimes it's a scramble because they didn't even know they needed the technology. They have no concept of how it works. And sometimes that's kind of a bad thing because we show up on site with the wrong equipment or not enough equipment.
Right.
And then we're scrambling to make things work. Perfect example. So this past event that I just did, I was just in Boston last week. I went up and did a silent conferencing seminar for a group called Boston Scientific. Now, what Boston Scientific does is they take doctors from around the country. You fly to Boston, and they teach you how to use the latest and greatest in medical tech. So this one happened to be endoscopies and colonoscopies.
Oh yeah.
So like
Butt cam.
Right. So they had the mannequins on the table. They had the latest and greatest cameras, and just like the conventions floor space that I was talking about earlier, everything was broken up into little groups. So the doctors just wore our equipment, and they just went from station to station. And as they moved from station to station, the equipment automatically switches over to where they were standing because I had the rads right there, and everything was broken down to channel. So as they moved throughout the room from station to station, their equipment automatically switched to the person that was giving the class.
That's cool,
Sorry, I keep
man.
hitting my mic.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so in that scenario, I show up a day ahead of time. I set up all the equipment, and then the other thing that I have to do is time my radiators, right? So the light comes out from the rad, and when it hits the receiver, if there's multiple light signatures coming at the same time, or like the radiators aren't timed properly, all the receiver is going to do is make a clicking sound in your ear. And the reason it does that is because it's listening to multiple signals at once. It can't determine which one it's supposed to pick up, so it just clicks in your ear. So you have to show up a day ahead of time, you have to set up your ads, and then you have to aim everything and then set the timing. So if you're standing in one particular spot in the room, all of the light exits the emitter panel and then hits the receiver relatively at the same time.
So so do you have special equipment to help you time the light?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's and
yeah.
So you
I
just
actually
have
brought a receiver. I'll show you guys after the.
Oh, okay,
the
cool.
things
So
over
you
here.
just have to like walk it. So once you're set up, you just have to walk it and trigger
Sure.
it yourself.
Correct. So what I do is, what I do in that scenario is I put the system in test, and what that does is it provides 9 channels with a K-tone, and it's various tones of the K-tone. So it's a beep, boop, bop. I can wear the headset and walk around the room, and the K-tone will change depending on what channel I'm on and what station I'm at.
And that's how you know.
And that's how I know the audio signal is clean too, because the K-tone is consistent. It's just boop.
Yeah.
So if you hear any cracks or whatever the situation is, you know immediately. And then I just keep tweaking the system until it sounds right. And then once it sounds right, I'm locked in. I usually put tape on like switches and stuff that I don't want people to touch.
Yeah.
And then I leave the system on, and I'll let the system run for a day or two if it has to stay on for that long. But after I set it, I don't mess with it after that. And then I just make really good notes as far as like where my BNC barrel connections are in my SDI line and all of that jazz.
Yeah.
So I have like a floor plan of like something fails. I know I need to check these 5 spots first. This is the next point. This is the next point.
You make a quick contingency.
Yeah,
to
always.
walk through.
Everything
Yeah.
has a plan. Yeah.
What does it cost for a company to bring you in and do like a meeting, or I don't know, like
You want to talk about my day rate? Is that what is that literally what you're asking? What my day rate is?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's just like if like let's say I have
Sure.
this company and I'm about to tell some of my high level employees that we're effed because
Because we killed the children.
Right.
Remember? We
Full Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
We're F, guys. We're F because we killed the children.
Yeah.
I paid these
Put on
guys-
your secret lanyard so I can tell you how bad it is.
I paid some of Miami buddies to get rid of these gopher tortoises out of this land that I got a developer deal on. Anyway,
They found the skulls.
The goddamn my ex-wife found out. She chained herself to a tree. And anyway, now the news media's involved. Oh, we're going down. Anyway, so I'm telling them this, and I'm like, I don't want anybody recording. And then I'm also skeptical of the sound guy. I'm like, is that guy recording?
Who
us?
are you?
He could be selling our information.
What's your name?
It's worth a lot of money.
Right.
Do
Anyway,
I know you? Is your name Cory?
I'm pretty sure I would walk out of that meeting, by the way. And if it was the meeting started off with, hey, we just killed all the children, I'm pretty sure I would I'm pretty sure I'd have to shut the equipment down at that point and be like, listen, guys, I don't know
I'm
what we're
recording
doing
everything
here.
on my phone because I'm releasing this to TMZ immediately.
And like, I don't really know if they're dead, but the bulldozers flattened them.
They got 'em good.
They
got 'em
entombed
real
them
good.
good.
I mean, they're
Yeah,
definitely in a different. They're in a different way.
They're not going anywhere.
They're in a different way.
We also got rid of some bald eagles that were missing.
Naturally.
Anything that would have,
gonna hate
put
that.
a
I forgot
stop.
to tell you at Dollywood they have a whole enclosure and it's just filled with bald eagles. So many, there's like 100 bald eagles in there.
One in a tree, you can't develop nothing. Anyway, so I got to tell 50 people in this conference center, and I wanted secret bringing you in. What's that going to cost me?
Well, you would have to talk to a project manager at one of the firms that I work for in order to do that, and all the firms are different. So
Okay.
it's hard for me to give you like a proposal, like an imaginary
Like
proposal.
$7,000,
Yeah.
$10,000.
No, like
We need thousands, right?
I'll give you like the
8,500?
formula, right?
Okay.
So like each radiator costs X amount of dollars to rent per day.
Okay.
And then you calculate how many days the event is, how many each receiver is X amount of dollars per day, however many days, and then as a project manager for one of these companies, though, like the art form there is the sale, right? So like you can do the rudimentary math and make it really simple for yourself, that this equals this, and this is the total price. But that doesn't really work that way in the event space. Like when you cross-rent equipment from a big company, you'll tell them that your event's for 5 days. They may charge you 2.5, something like that. So when you're trying to sell something to a client, and then you have this big number because you have 2,000 receivers, each receiver's $5 to rent, and your event is 6 days long. Like you start doing that math, it seems like a huge number. So what project managers will do will like, give you a break on this and then give you a break on that for this many days. So it's like really hard for me to give you a
So it's very a la
number.
carte.
Absolutely, because every event is different.
Yeah, and
every situation.
Yeah,
is different.
because especially with the timing aspect of it, I mean,
Correct.
you're basically going in there and building your own like architecture within the room for
Correct.
the people.
Right.
Like the one that you talked about with the doctors. It's amazing to think that the doctors, like, I mean, how much better is their presentation because they don't have to go and get on a different stage.
Right.
They can just continuously walk, and the whole
Walk.
presentation is never interrupted. That's an amazing luxury to have.
It is, yeah,
and
and-
you would pay for that.
Exactly, doctors, right?
yeah.
Now you're getting it. It's like
Yeah.
it's an echelon thing, right? Like
From your explanation,
Sure.
all that told me is it's too expensive. and me and my company, I'm just gonna yell it out loud.
Right.
I'm not even gonna PA.
Yeah, it's
I
not
was like,
for
can you
us.
hear me? Just get
Yeah,
closer.
that's why he said doctors. He
Yeah.
pointed to his nose. He's like, not for you. It's not,
Not
for
for
you,
you,
Walmart
homie.
Danny,
Yeah.
with your homeless beard.
Yeah,
No,
but my ex-wife is chained to a tree right now, talking to the goddamn radio.
listen, if you can hop over your
And
fence,
they hate me.
Yeah, and they do hate you. They'll put her on. They'll be like, it's his ex-wife.
Yeah, Tunnel's out there interviewing
yeah,
her.
Yeah.
the basic
He's
math
out there
is
giving her money. He's naked. He's got his hog out.
I think the basic math is if you can jump over your backyard fence and go roller skating, you can't afford it.
Oh, yeah,
How
that's
dare
a
you.
good joke.
Got him.
Oh, yeah, only because
Got
you've
him.
known me for 25 years. I want you to say that.
Got him.
That's a solid joke.
So, and then is it like, how big's a crew that you rolling with to do this?
Absolutely. So, like I said, every situation is different. So, like if we're going out of country, so like one of the gigs, let's say we're going to Barcelona for McDonald's, right? That gig in particular may have 200 radiators, may have 15 interpretation booths. That level of show will require 10 people. So like,
Wow,
and then
that's
when you
big.
show up then, you may even be in split groups. So like the install may take 4 days. You're working in 24-hour shifts, 12 on, 12 off until the
Wow.
setup is done.
You know, like
That's a
what-
rough go.
It's
right?
brutal, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen through your job,
Mm-hmm.
billion-dollar corporations, and what's interesting for people that have never been around like high-level corporations or like. They don't realize how much. I've never even been to that, but the closest I've been was, let's say, the MLS in Orlando City, and then like some other bigger companies that I've seen, and like what they'll spend on things blows your mind.
Oh, you mean our balloons? What we spent on balloons?
It
It always blows his mind. I think we spent $70,000 on balloons. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
30,000.
Yeah, it
or
was an
something.
amazing amount.
But but it's like, and then because my podunk mind, I'm like, what? But it's like it's drop in the bucket once it gets that big,
Right.
So once you get to McDonald's level, they just start like writing checks for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on things that you wouldn't even believe. You're
Right.
like, you spent 300 grand on napkins,
Yeah.
like you're saying,
Yeah.
because it's
Right.
just
Chair covers.
yeah, it just becomes.
Why'd
so
you cover the chairs? The
huge.
chairs were fine. Well, they weren't the
So
right color. We
So
wanted
they're
them
doing this
great.
conference, and they're just like, oh, the audio, the lighting, the staging.
They
and
want it
this,
to be perfect.
It's 1.2 million, and you're like,
don't
whoa,
care.
like I don't understand. They don't care.
That's
yeah.
right. So
And
like at a certain level, TC budget is a make-believe or a make-believe word,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like when you have an unlimited budget, you just dictate how you want your reality to be, and then people do that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what we do.
Yeah, Conway
Like-
J in the chat room says that one of the trade shows he just went to, they dropped $10 million
Yeah,
for a 3-day show.
That's not even.
Yeah,
that
It was
isn't
$10 million for a
blink of an eye.
3-day show,
Sure.
and I think that, like Corey's
Sure.
saying, that's a small show.
It just doesn't matter. And that is just, it doesn't. It's just, they have unlimited money, and it's just coming in faster. It's like
and a lot of it is a lot of it's
Yeah.
earmarked for that, right?
Right,
Like
absolutely.
that's the budget for
Tax breaks,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it's wild, like how much money you get back in tax breaks from like doing conventions and
Yeah.
like it's
And,
wild.
and it's easy for an employee of this giant corporation to spend the corporation's money. So it's almost like funny money that does not even exist.
That's
like
what
it's
I'm
just,
talking about.
It's
It
just,
doesn't exist. It's just digital numbers.
It's
on a
numbers,
screen.
yeah. It's
remember
not
when
your
it-
money.
you remember
so
that?
You're spending the company's money.
Do you
that's
remember
unlimited.
when we had the credit card for Orlando City? True story. And then we were doing murals around the town. And when we needed a bucket truck that we did not use, we did not use that bucket truck. We swiped that bucket truck, we rented it, they brought it down there, and then they took it away when it was never used.
Yeah, $1,200. Like, and I remember I was like, you wasted $1,200. They're like, well,
it's not really a way.
They didn't care. They're like, well, you tried. It was a great thought, guys. Good job. I was like, well, we thought we just flushed $1,200 down the drain, and now we got this Mexican guy yelling at us because we got it stuck. Remember that? We got it stuck. We put a bucket truck in a really bad area, and we're blocking part of the road.
That's how you're a small town poor. It's like $1,200.
Yeah,
that's my mortgage. Anyway,
amazing.
What
can somebody doing this, like, how do you get into this job? Like, if
Sure.
you wanted to, like, let's say somebody's hearing this. I think most of our listeners are hearing this, and they go, like, this is a very cool job.
Never even knew
it's
this
niche.
existed, by the way.
Niche. So, in order to get into this, you would either have to take like a vocational class and learn the audio engineering for infrared, distribution, or get a job like any other journeyman. Start at the bottom.
Yeah.
Try to get in on a crew somewhere. Just be a grunt. Handle the loading, the heavy lifting, all that jazz, and you got to do that for a long time, which is never great, and people don't like that. But it's hard to get in and do something like this because of that reason. So, like, if you really wanted to become an IR tech, you would have to like go find a job with a company that already has the equipment. So when you are, not doing your job stuff and you have downtime, you can mess around with the equipment and learn that way. Outside of that, man, it's so specialized. Like, you have to like. Did
you fall into it? Like, can we ask how you got?
Yeah. I was working for a local audio firm here in Orlando, and they had the equipment. That's how I learned. That's it.
And just like, what is this? And they're like, oh, it's this.
Right.
Wow.
Why instead of like infrared digitally shooting the signal to a receiver?
Sure.
Why not just have it where you're wearing headphones and it's on some closed circuit? Is that too easy?
No, that's exactly what it is. It's a closed circuit with light. That's it. You just described
Well, I think what
yourself.
you're asking is why not just do it not using light?
Yeah, like
What's
Wi-Fi.
the benefit?
I guess
because any other source is
unsecure.
it's just too easy to capture. If it was a Bluetooth signal,
it's hackable, right?
Everything is recordable
unless
you have specialized equipment that can pick up this digital light source.
So in order,
and wiring it would be too hard.
What, you're going to put 2,000 wires on the ground leading out the audience? That doesn't work now.
Yeah.
So it's like a good wire.
I'm a wireman.
Can you imagine walking
Who
in?
doesn't like a wire?
That's spaghetti.
In our business, wires matter. Okay, all wire. Write down all wires matter.
And I like covering up with the outside sticky square. It's really everywhere.
Right.
It's not that.
But everything's moving that way. It's going to be less wires. Everything moving forward in the future will be like everything that you have here in the studio is all connected with a wire. Soon, in the next 5 to 10 years, that'll all be gone. It'll be all changed.
You could take the wires out of my cold dead.
I'm not giving up my wires. I am not giving. I'm pro wires. I can't.
We'll die with these wires.
I'm glad you waited to the end of the segment to start
Sorry,
popping up your liberal wireless beat. I almost said BS.
I know. I'm sorry.
Your liberal wireless crap. I am so anti-wireless headphones.
I'm sorry.
I mean, we'll whip you with these wires.
Whoa.
You know where you are, boy? You're in wireland. We don't do no goddamn wireless.
You know what? We should start changing the colors on these wires. Brighten them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
My wires are red, white, and blue. Tell you that right now. Tell you that right now.
So now we'll get to the uncomfortable question. And if people in your line of work, is this a lucrative position?
That was a really nice way of asking it. I can always tell when you actually respect the guest.
It was for a period of time.
By the way, anybody who knew me 25 years ago, I will never respect it. Because that means that you are somehow in my circle, and I don't respect myself.
Right.
So that means you're too close to me.
You're lower than
me. Yeah. I can't respect
understand
you.
what
I'm
you're
sorry.
saying.
So this is one of the industries that was heavily affected during the COVID era. Think about what convention spaces and how many conventions were happening before COVID. Post-COVID, the number is fractional.
Okay.
So if there's less events happening, there's less opportunity.
Yeah.
And if there's less opportunity, we're working way less.
Yeah, I understand.
Because there are other technicians throughout the country, right? So like it's not just me doing it. Like, and the companies are really cool about like sharing the workload, right? Like, yes, each company has a very selected stable of technicians that they go to first.
Yeah.
And fortunately for me, I am in that group with several companies. So sometimes I have to turn jobs down, and that's a luxury in today's market.
Gotcha.
But I'm still not doing as well as I was. You know what I mean? Like the market has shifted a bit.
Yeah.
So my day rate has gone up, but the workload is way less than it used to be. If
Yeah,
that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
Like, because of COVID and like Zoom and stuff, but there's still, I guess higher level companies probably have some secured version of Zoom that is virtually unhackable, right? So they can speak to each other, you know.
I mean, virtually unhackable is the key word, right?
Virtually.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what you would cue in on, and I don't know. It would depend on. I mean, I know just from the little bit of the industry we were in how cutthroat it is. So I would imagine in other industries it's very cutthroat. You know, like you're stealing people's secrets and trying to find things out.
Although it can't be that much of a secret, they're letting Cory listen
That's
to it.
right. I know all the secrets.
And Cory,
That's still
I know
bothering
all
you.
of
It's still bothering you that he's not telling all his friends.
He could be.
He wants you to be taking advantage of all of this
yeah,
and become
yeah.
rich, Cory. They're all the secrets.
No,
you know.
you just like you don't even have to do anything. You just have to tell me. You see what I'm saying? and then one day you get a suitcase. You see what I'm saying? That's all you need to do.
Secret Service shows up at my door and they're like, "So we heard you said something to Thomas Van about yada yada yada."
I get
that.
interviewed
I don't
by
need
a
that.
Secret Service agent, and I will tell you, it's very boring, and it's not at all intimidating at all. It's scary because he's Secret Service, but he's a very nice man.
I used to be really nervous around those guys, but now it's after working a few years at the UN stuff with them. They're wicked cool.
Yeah.
They're all just normal dudes, man. They're like normal dudes. And I think the Secret Service dudes that I interacted with, particularly, these were Biden's crew. Those guys seemed more real than like police officers or military personnel that I've interacted with. Like they seemed more personable. Like they were like more like a butler with firearms.
Yeah.
Ooh, gun butler.
Yeah, gun butler.
Because
I
there's
love
only-
the idea of a gun butler.
There's only been a handful in history
Right.
that have actually had to do something like an emergency
Right.
scenario. You know,
Right.
like most of the time
Are
you're
you talking
standing
about all
around.
police officers, right?
That was
No,
the-
Secret Service.
Yeah,
You know?
that was the big takeaway though.
Yeah.
They're just like normal people
Yeah.
doing a very high level security job.
Yeah.
Any of them got beer bellies?
No, negative.
Yeah, they
No.
can't have that, right?
They're taking
You
well.
can't have like the president's staff can't have like a big. You can't have like a norm.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
like from
because
Cheers out
yeah,
there.
it's just a public perception. But
Yeah.
most of they're just standing there. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Right.
then you can't find your gun.
Right.
I found it. Where is it?
Anyway, sorry. Cory, thanks so much for coming.
That was a great one, man.
Thank
the
you,
chat
dude.
room absolutely loved it.
Thanks.
It's one of the more interesting weird jobs that we have. I mean, they can't all be, and we can't all be tugboat captains. Good Lord.
No.
Every week, tugboat this, tugboat that. We got to throw some science in there every once in a while.
Hey, before you guys go though, if you guys, I also am an artist, and if you guys want to check
Please,
out,
please.
I do like psychedelic abstract stuff, and my website is doobtube.art.
And it's beautiful art, too. He gave us a
Yeah,
couple
man.
pieces. Thank you
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, the YouTube's doing really well too. I went from like 300 subscribers to like almost 4,000 in like
Nice.
3 weeks. So
That's
like
fantastic,
the numbers
man.
are jumping real quick. It's
Well
doing really,
done.
really, really well.
The psychedelic art. Do you have to be on psychedelics?
Well,
when you're
I may
creating
have
it?
to come back because I believe this is a corporate time show, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
say anything.
Yeah,
The
We're
FCC
both
doesn't
addicted to
exist.
drugs.
Yeah, yeah,
You
I
want to say
know.
the S word? Say
But
it.
if you want to hear the real, I should probably do it on like a BDM or
Gotcha.
a free show because I can talk about it at length, but it's not meant for like corporate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Oh,
Yeah. Well,
Can you get me and Daniel some? We've been looking for it.
Yeah.
I may know a guy, I may not.
All right.
Yeah,
all
all
right.
right.
That means you do.
I know what that means.
And we'll be in touch about the info. This is the closest I got.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were like at some NFL coaches conference, and then you're like, they're firing Stefanski. I'm like,
Yeah.
go. Everybody I know. I'll be
I
like,
swear to
"Better."
God, in my brain, I had queued up NFL coach firing in my effing brain,
Yeah.
and you said it.
Yeah. I don't know why I chose Stefanski. But
Yeah, well,
anyway.
that threw me off a little. I don't even know who that is.
The Browns had a good.
Thank you again for coming in,
man.
man.
Thanks
We
for having me,
appreciate
guys.
it.
It was a pleasure.
Guys, we will see you tomorrow.